not starting. But,
Oh, you're not?
yeah, so that's all I can say.
How are you dealing with the, I guess, we've been asked before, but, with December now and this is still going on, I mean, is it becoming harder?
No, I mean, it's been the main question I've been getting asked, obviously, for me and Caden, but it's the same situation. We got the three guys here and we're rolling with it now, and obviously Sam's played very well and deserved the last two starts, but, waiting for my chance to get back in the net, and it is what it is. You just got to try to be efficient about it and be as, professional as possible on and off the ice, and just make sure you're ready.
Do you think it's possible to keep this three-way thing going up until March, April?
This is way out of my control. I'm a goalie for the Montreal Canadiens, and that's all I am right now, and that's where I want to be. So, I'm just rolling with it and going to try to do the best thing I can for this team.
Hey, Sean is asking about the three goaltender in Montreal. Just in terms of number, October was a really good month for you. November was a tougher one. Is it maybe because of not playing enough that it can be harder mentally?
No, that's just. You can't use that as an excuse here if any of us can. You just got to be ready to go. There's guys that sometimes don't play for 7 or 10 games and have to play in the lineup, as a forward defenseman. So it's just about trying to stay sharp, and that's the ebbs and flows of a season. That's going to happen not only to myself but to a lot of different guys throughout the year. So not a big deal.
Are you going to Buffalo, or you might be staying here?
I'm not sure yet. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think of Jayden Struble's play since he's arrived? Watching
Yesterday, you are a mentor for him. Can you explain us your exact role with him?
Yeah,
He likes you very much.
Oh, that's good to hear. Thanks, Strubes. I would say that I was in basically the same situation as him last year, so it's still fresh for me. He's a really good kid, really good guy. I shouldn't say kid. He's a really good guy. Just talking with him, whatever I see on the ice, like in the game, and the more you talk about the game, it keeps you in the moment. And I think that's the biggest thing when it's your first few games, staying in the moment and talking about what you see, like what the other team's throwing at you or what happened that shift. And not taking things with too much weight. Like whatever happens, good or bad play, they both happen, and just move on for the next shift. It's always about the next shift.
What do you like about this game?
He's physically an amazing skater, really strong, like defensively to play against, but also he has a lot of poise too. You see him a lot of times, like on the left side, holding it, and then finds a good play opens up. So he's got incredible poise and patience for someone who's in his first 10 games or so.
Who were your mentor back in the days?
Well, for me, it's easy. It was last year, so I had I had Savvy, Math, Eddie. Those guys were always there for us, and great guys to look up to. For me personally, as a righty D, like Savvy is kind of, I guess, I'd be drawn to him the most, and happy to say we're good friends now.
He's close to coming back. David, how good is it for you guys having your captain, your D captain around you?
Yeah, no, that's going to be huge to have his presence on the back end. We've definitely missed him, and I think it's just going to give us, obviously what he brings on the ice, but also off the ice, just that morale boost. He's I'm sure you guys know, a hilarious guy and a great teammate. Like, can't say enough good things about him off the ice, and that's just gonna, rally the troops, I'd say.
Regarding Struble, it's his first pro year, full pro year, and JFO, the coach in Laval, was saying that it's rare or in the last few years, he's the only guy that maybe has arrived with a good defensive side. Just how surprising is it to see maybe a 22-year-old arrive at the NHL, pro level, and also have maybe good defensive qualities?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the foundation of his game, and he's brought that, and it translates right away because he's such a physically strong, mentally sharp. Like, these are a lot of things that, I guess it would be usually young guys who come in, that's the side of the game they got to work on the most. But I think he knows that's a big strength of his game, and that's what he can immediately contribute here. And I think he's been awesome in the D zone.
Do you think that can help him maybe establish himself a little bit faster. A guy that shows up and has great offense, but will be a liability in his own.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of my route as well. That's something that I did last year. It seems like every level I've moved up, whether it be to college, AHL, NHL, the defensive side for me is something that translates quicker than the offensive side. It takes me like a little bit to know what you can and can't do offensively. But I think I'm kind of in a similar boat, I would say, then, in the sense that coming up, my defensive side is what I focus on. That's the foundation, the core like principles of my game, I guess I'd say.
You mentioned Edmonton before. I don't think
since your debut in the NHL. Can you explain this calm you have on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I just I notice it too, though. Just like every time I have the puck, I think I'm pretty calm out there. I think that just comes with, I mean, just more work that I put in, and the A and this summer. I think I just put myself in a good spot.
You guys had games last year too.
So earlier this week, in Laval, JFO mentioned that you might be the only guys in the recent years that came up to the pro level with a good defensive side already. So has this always been something that you focused on? What did you take from the NCAA or NCAA experience? Was that your focus a lot at that level?
Yeah, I think the NCAA helped me a lot just defensively. I know that, I mean, maybe, it has maybe a little bit more defending than, like the Canadian leagues or something. I'm not sure, but I know that it was a huge, focus in college level. So I think, yeah, just coming here, having maybe, a little bit of a step ahead defensive-wise, and then just kind of hammering away at it and just making it a real focus for me. Yeah, it's proven to, breed success.
Have you ever imagined yourself playing in the NHL 2 months into your pro career?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I thought it was so quick turnaround. But I mean, yeah, I thought I was in a good spot and I was ready for it. I don't think that they would call me up if they thought I was gonna struggle or anything like that. So yeah, just super grateful that the timing worked out and I'm able to make the most of it.
From your game one to your game now, just how do you see the game evolve? People will say usually the game gets slower a little bit. Do you feel get that?
Yeah, I think just less nerves. So when you're going back for a puck, knowing that you don't have to rush it and just make the time to make the right play type of thing. I think I see the game really good right now. I think my legs are moving pretty good. So yeah, it's been a pretty seamless transition, I think, so far. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Demain soir, c'est Buffalo. Il y a toujours des bons match-ups entre vos deux équipes. Les matchs sont pas faciles à gagner, mais au moins, est-ce qu'il n'y a pas là potentiellement un match où le Canadien peut se trouver plus facilement dans ce qu'il est?
Non, il n'y a pas de game facile. C'est une ligue très compétitive. Puis c'est un différent style de jeu. Puis on sait comment attaquer ça. Puis c'est ça qu'on va faire. Primo.
Hey, Marty.
Hi.
Pizzetta, do you have any thoughts about Pizzetta fighting down 4-0 in a game, 3 minutes to go? Do you think he was trying to send a message to you because he hadn't played in a while?
I don't know. It's a question for him. I have no idea.
I asked him.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what if there was an exchange. I don't know. Like I honestly, it's hard for me to comment because I've never been in that position. I've never done that, so I've never played that role. I know he's been out of the lineup. We all know what type of player he is. I don't know, but Pez is a team first guy. Takes care of the team. He's a warrior.
Do you have any thoughts about the team being booed off the ice at the end of the game?
I mean, nobody likes that, but, I think it's the first time this year. I mean, we didn't score a goal, and we didn't have a great push in the third. I believe this is a one-off, because, I feel our team's been battling all year, and we were a little deflated, I think, because we felt that we were with them for 2 periods, and down 3. It's a big mountain to climb against that team. I think we were just a little deflated, if we scored an early one in the third, it could have been a different story. But they got another goal in the third, and so I understand their feeling, and it's something that we do everything we can to not have them feel that in the game, and we'll keep pushing.
Look at the group last night that you played against. You mentioned, that's a mature team that's gone through a process to get to where they're at. Your opponent tomorrow night is trying to go through that process, as a lot of young players is sort of maybe in a more advanced stage of what you guys are trying to do. I know this isn't your department necessarily, but do you sometimes look at your group and wonder what getting over the hump will look like for this team at some point?
I tend to not worry about tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now. I'm trying to stay in the present.
I get that, but you gotta sometimes, does your mind wander every now and then, or do you just think of a path that you can take to get there?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a plan that we have and trying to follow, and growing as a team is very important, but also growing the individual. They're going to be a big part of our success. Is a big focus for us. I really like the youth that we have and how they're growing. But to really look so far ahead, I have a tough time doing that. I think after the season, maybe you kind of can start looking for what this is going to look like, But I think throughout a season, it's really hard to look. But I know what we're after, and I think right now as a young group, I've said it, we're chasing consistency, and as we grow together, it's going to be easier to get that consistency like these teams last night. But there's a lot of teams that are in the same boat as us, and as much as it's a race, so to speak, to look like LA, there's steps that has to be taken, and they're not always linear. Sometimes it's you take a step back to take giant step forward, and you've seen it throughout our season, you know. So we're just gonna keep going.
Marty, last couple of games, there were a couple of cases where Slavkovsky's had the stick sort of chopped out of his hands, and he's been looking at the ref for the penalty, and he's not getting it. Is this a case of him just not being strong enough on his stick? And is that
I doubt that. No, I mean, some of these plays have been penalties this year, you know, and so, you know, I guess for a young player in this league, he's seen this called, and now it's not called, and it's, you know, I get it. Slav gets emotional sometime, but, you know, I understand it.
As a 19-year-old, though, it might, I don't know, looking at the refs.
Yeah, no, he probably shouldn't do that. Yeah.
Second one, Cole's obviously not scoring at the pace he was since you took over as coach.
Mhm.
How concerning is that to you? Why do you think it might be? Or maybe the shoulder, or is it just?
No. Yeah, no, I don't know. Well, we've played 26 games. He's got 7. You know, he could easily have double that, you know, and then it'd be all okay, right? He doesn't. But I think we're really, you know, focusing on with Cole. It's not necessarily scoring the goals. It's everything else that comes with the game and growing as a player. He hasn't forgot how to score goals, and he's going to score goals again. And I know he's going to score a lot of goals, but not at the price of not being a more complete player. And I think that's what he's going through right now. He's a much better defensively. He's way more engaged physically. And we're asking him to do the things that the game is asking him to do, not just what Cole wants to do. And he might have played a little more freely in the past, and but I don't think he's not going to score goals because he becomes a complete player. He's going through a process right now.
Salut Martin. Hier, après le match, tu disais quelque chose, je t'ai pas lancé hier. Tu parlais des Kings qui, à un certain moment, sont un peu adaptés. C'était presque un 4. Il faut apprendre de ça, nous autres aussi. On ne parle pas souvent de toi. Toi, t'apprends-tu encore dans ta gestion de réagir? Tu vois-tu une évolution? Tu parles de tes joueurs qui doivent ralentir la game. Toi, maintenant, tu vis ça comment maintenant, là, rendu là?
Ben, on fait toujours des ajustements durant la game. Si on voit quelque chose. T'sais, si l'équipe elle répond à qu'est-ce qu'on fait, bien là, il faut peut-être qu'ils fassent un petit peu d'autre chose. Fait que ça, on fait ça beaucoup durant les matchs. Puis c'est quelque chose que moi c'est ma chose préférée à faire. C'est de voir comment l'adversaire, il pas contre-attaque, mais il répond à exactement comment ils réagissent. Puis essayer de trouver d'autres trous.
La façon de gérer la game, justement, dans le flow du match?
Ben, je te dirais que, oui. Tu sais, comme tu dis, la game est beaucoup plus slow pour moi qu'elle l'était, même mon premier 20 games. Tu sais, puis on est plus... Quand je suis arrivé, j'essayais d'organiser l'équipe, comment qu'on va jouer, puis tu peux pas arriver puis leur donner tout. Tu travailles sur des petites choses, puis tu rajoutes des affaires, Mais là, présentement, on sait exactement comment qu'on veut jouer, mais là, on rentre plus dans les détails, puis les ajustements. Fait que oui, c'est une évolution pour moi aussi. Puis ça suit avec l'évolution de l'équipe aussi. Mais c'est vrai, hier, tu sais, comme ils sont ajustés un petit peu, puis on a essayé d'amener d'autres choses. J'aurais aimé ça qu'on exécute un petit peu meilleur, mais c'est des répétitions qui nous montrent quelque chose pour les prochaines situations.
Salut Martin.
Bonjour.
Je sais qu'il y a des concepts que tu aimes, auxquels tu crois, puis tu les enseignes à tes joueurs. Est-ce que, je me demandais, est-ce que la façon que tu veux que le Canadien de Montréal joue, puis ce que tu enseignes, est-ce que ce serait la même chose, peu importe le type le groupe de joueurs que tu aurais sous la main? Est-ce que ce que tu enseignes, la façon de jouer, dépend des joueurs que tu as sous la main? Ou bien est-ce que c'est simplement en fonction du groupe de mettons, ton jeune corps, tu dis, quand on va être rendu à maturité, je veux qu'au moins ce jeune corps-là, il joue comme ça.
Exactement.
C'est la porte numéro 3.
Oui, c'est la porte numéro 3. Okay. J'enseigne comment que je veux qu'on va jouer. Puis ça me dérange pas, c'est qui est ici. Je suis sûr, à chaque année, tu vas rajouter du monde, puis il va embarquer dans la machine. Ça veut pas dire que ça va être pareil comme aujourd'hui, mais moi, je veux qu'on soit à l'attaque la minute qu'on pogne la rondelle, que ça soit dans notre zone, puis je veux qu'on soit sur la défensive la minute qu'on la perd. Okay? Puis quand on est en top, quand on est notre bon, là, mais c'est ça qu'on fait. T'sais. Mais on court après la constance.
Donc, si je comprends bien, l'identité sur la glace que tu es en train de définir est prévue en fonction de dire quel est le système ou la façon de jouer qui va fitter avec Suzuki, Caulfield, Doc, Gouli, avec ces gars-là principalement, plus que des gars qui ont peut-être moins de chances d'être là dans 5 ans. Est-ce qu'on parle de développement puis d'une équipe qui est en progression?
On joue un style qui aide nos joueurs à se développer. T'sais, ça ne veut pas dire que dans 3 ans, on va être un petit peu plus défensif, je ne sais pas encore. Mais on va être capable d'ouvrir la machine. Je ne sais pas si je fais du sens, là, mais...
Oui, absolument.
OK.
Il y a tellement été question des Kings puis de leur 1-3-1 des derniers jours. Ils ont une identité qui est bien définie. Toi, quand les autres équipes regardent le Canadien de Montréal, qu'est-ce que tu penses qu'ils voient en se disant « Ah, ça, c'est le Canadien de Montréal ». C'est quoi les éléments en ce moment que vous avez qui sont propres à vous?
Je sais pas. Je sais pas si je veux vraiment en parler. Hein? Oh non, mais je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'ils diraient. Je sais pas qu'est-ce qu'ils diraient. Enfin, c'est une question pour eux autres.
Je comprends, mais est-ce qu'il y a je ne parle pas nécessairement de faire du pre-scouting de ta propre équipe, mais quand les choses vont bien, l'identité de votre équipe, tu parlais tantôt de vitesse, les gars parlent d'être on top of le
on joue avec beaucoup de pace. On est vite. Je te dirais quand ils pognent le Canadien, s'ils regardent nos bons matchs, là, ils disent « Wow, ils sont vite en maudit ». On paraît vite quand on est balancé sur la glace puis organisé. Puis on court après cette constance-là.
On a vu au fil des années des jeunes défenseurs avoir un peu de misère à leur début dans la Ligue nationale. Jayden Struble jouait hier un 8e match de suite, puis tu peux me corriger si je me trompe, ça se peut très bien, mais je l'ai rarement vu en difficulté sur la glace. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait qui est si efficace, malgré son jeune âge?
Mais honnêtement, c'est son pace, sa rapidité, sa force d'un coin, puis ses touches. Ses touches. Moi, en tout cas, moi, c'est ça qui m'impressionne le plus de lui, c'est ses touches. Touche en sortie de zone. T'sais, il fait une bonne première passe. Puis si t'es pour un défenseur, que tu sois à n'importe quel âge, si tu es capable de te défendre, amener de la robustesse un petit peu, de la vitesse, puis tu fais une bonne première passe, c'est toujours des bonnes affaires, ça.
Contre Caulfield, pour revenir un peu à ce que tu disais, toujours été un marqueur de but. Comment on s'assure d'aider un marqueur de but à devenir plus complet sans changer fondamentalement son identité première?
Mais c'est des conversations. C'est du vidéo. C'est un peu de ça. Très réceptif. Ah oui, très réceptif. Cole a une super de bonne attitude. C'est sûr qu'il aimerait ça compter plus de buts. Mais c'est continuer à avoir les chances.
Salut Martin. tu disais avec Marc-Antoine, on court après de la constance. Juraj Slavkovski, c'est 2 matchs au sein du premier trio, mais c'est 2 bons matchs. Il gagne des batailles 1 contre 1, mais surtout, on dirait que sa vision du jeu semble s'améliorer. Est-ce que c'est quelque chose qui s'enseigne, la vision du jeu, ou tu crois que c'est plus instinctif?
C'est les deux, un petit peu. Je pense pour à 19 ans, je pense que ça s'enseigne encore un petit peu. Puis je pense que c'est ça que moi, je remarque. Puis pour cela, je trouve que sa constance, depuis le début de l'année, là, est quand même là. C'est sûr qu'il y a eu des meilleurs matchs que d'autres matchs, mais pour un kid de 19 ans, je trouve que sa constance, c'est une de ses forces, moi, je trouve, présentement. Moi, qu'est-ce que j'aime de Slav présentement, c'est qu'il, dans nos concepts et tout, il remarque ses points de repère. Il sait où ce que ses coéquipiers sont. Il sait où ce que les adversaires ils sont. Il sait c'est quoi. C'est-tu une équipe qui joue zone? C'est-tu une équipe qui joue man-on-man? C'est très élevé présentement comment il procède. Ouais, comment il réfléchit. Puis fait que c'est pas du hasard pourquoi qu'il y a plus de touches, pourquoi qu'il est confiant. Parce qu'il est confiant parce qu'il y a beaucoup de touches. Plus ta touche, plus ta confiance, elle monte. Plus ta confiance, elle monte, plus ton exécution, elle va monter. Fait que c'est... Puis pour avoir des touches, il faut que tu sois alerte. Faut que tu saches ce que tes gars sont. Faut que tu saches où est-ce que l'autre équipe allait, c'est quel genre de système qu'ils joue. Il y a bien des choses qui rentrent en ligne de compte. Fait que pour un jeune de 19 ans, moi, je suis très impressionné.
Oui, tu le places peut-être avec tes 2 meilleurs attaquants, mais il y a d'impact les 2 meilleurs défenseurs ou le trio Philippe Dano.
Oh, ouais.
Merci, Martin.
OK, merci beaucoup.